To be intentional is to be proactive rather than reactive. To be intentional, you have to stop and think first. To be intentional, you have to deal with what lies behind in order to see the change in what is to come. Hi, this is Dr. Anita with another diamond moment. The diamonds in our lives are produced through time, heat, and pressure, but it is absolutely up to you. No one is going to do it for you. It's up to you to gather the value from these experiences and use them to grow. But you have to be intentional in doing so. We've been talking about intention. We've been talking about raising our vibration, our thoughts, our atmosphere around us up so that we can achieve what we want, so that we can receive what we're looking for, so that we can increase where we are, but in a good way. I've had the opportunity, and I call it that for a reason, to talk to a number of people, just many, about the things that are most important in their lives, where they want to go, what they want to do, why they feel that they were sent to this place, to this time to achieve. And the one thing that runs consistent across the board is the emotion that we have as human beings. One of those emotions, one of those crosses that we bear is one of anxiety or fear. And it ranges in terms of the degree or the level. You could call it being shy, which is just another way of being afraid that people won't receive you, or they won't like you, or you'll be different and you'll be ostracized because you're different. So fear can be all the way from just being shy to being frozen and unable to move in stark terror. But we have the ability, part of that we have been given, is that we have the ability to be intentional, to stop, to think, to be proactive as opposed to reactive. But it's all up to us to determine where we want to be, what we want to experience, and to a great extent, how that experience will show up in our lives. We can look at the fear that we face, the anxiety that we face, and use it as a mirror to look back at ourselves, to look back at why are you having this reaction to this particular thing. And in most situations, it's because we are living in the past of what happened to us before. We're being chased by the past, that it's going to overcome us and come upon us again. Or we're being threatened that our future will be the same as our past. Anytime we're dealing with anything other than love, other than acceptance, we are looking directly in the face of the shadow that we need to shine light on in order to move to a different place. The way that we do that, oddly enough, is to get into the present, because in the present, there is no threat of what happened in the past coming back to happen in the future, because we are in the present. We can choose to be proactive rather than reactive. Well, what do you mean by that, Dr. Anita? I don't get it. You can be proactive by thinking first, by being honest with yourself and saying, I know that in this area, I got some issues. I got some stuff that happened to me, and happened being the optimal word, that happened in the past to me, that causes me to be a little resistant to what could come up in the future. And it is in those places, it is in that point of understanding that I am not in the past. What happened to that person, I am no longer that person. The experience itself changed me. And then what I do with that experience allows me to have a different future. Because I have, as some people put it, alchemized. I've put something together and mixed it up, and I have a whole new outcome because I'm thinking differently. My perspective in this area has changed. I've modified the way that I think. I've shifted the way that I perceive what's taking place with me because I am no longer the same person. When we continue to have challenges in any particular area and it doesn't appear that we're making progress, it's usually because we are still living in the past, anticipating a negative for the future and not doing anything with our present. So I want us, as we continue to move forward, strengthening ourselves, to realize that in the present, everything's okay. And I don't mean far into the future. I'm saying in this moment, I'm okay. And if I take just this moment and I stay in this moment, I'm able to successfully and effectively think through the challenges that are before me. I'm able to look at what I am fearful of, anxious about, don't really want to go through, and say, what is it about this that's actually causing me the problem? If you haven't done so, I invite you to go back and listen to some of the first of episodes that we did, because we go into so many areas of our human lives that have been affected by the way that we think. Sometimes we have been held back simply because, and I use this example as well, that as a 4-year-old, I determined that I didn't like broccoli and I'm not going to eat broccoli. And now my taste palette is completely different. I can try something today and say, well, wow, this is good. I don't even understand what it was about the broccoli or the vegetable or whatever it was that we had the objection to. I don't even understand that now. Why? Because I'm not that 4-year-old anymore. I've learned that I can mix some things together and put the broccoli and the pasta with a little chicken, and I got a really wonderful dish here that I wouldn't have had because I didn't eat this or I don't do this. And so much of our lives is based off of antiquated ideas, whether they are our own, whether they belong to the community that we are a part of, whether it's because of our familial heritage. All of our family members were just, you fill in the blank. Well, it can stop with you. And that's what they talk about when they're saying breaking generational curses, breaking concepts that had previously hindered and held you back, and being more today than you were yesterday because that person no longer exists. You've been able to work through and walk through the challenges of today in order to be proactive about your future. So we want to look and understand what the intention is. The intention of looking backwards is not to live in the past. You can't go forward looking in the rearview mirror. You're going to run into something. Okay? So it's not to just stay in the past just for the object of being in the past. It's allowing your body to signal you when you need to pay attention to an emotion that you may be having or that you're not realizing that you're having, because your body will signal to you the area in which I just feel tight. I don't know. All of a sudden, I just feel tight. Well, once you go in and you look at and study, and I can't express how important it is to study. And I want you to go back. The things that we talk about, go back and look at them in your life. That's what the Diamond Journey Journal is about. Being able to write those things down. Go back and see where they came from. And then you'll be able to follow the thread into what's holding you back today. If there's something in your past that you need to take a moment to look at, don't you think it would behoove you to do so? Because carrying the past is causing you to be less effective in your future. So if we stay in the moment, realize that I'm not surrounded by whatever it was that was taking place in that memory that caused that scar. When you realize I'm not in that place anymore, I'm not that person anymore, and I choose to be proactive rather than reactive. I choose to think first, think it through, do what I know to do today in order to have the future outcome that I desire. And I cannot continue to live in the past, allowing the past to master my present and my future. It's time to make changes in our lives. And no one is going to do that but us. Nobody can be the change that you want in your life but you. So I am inviting you, if you haven't done so, to get your Diamond Journey Journal. You have the ability to walk through and walk out of simply by being intentional, thinking first, being proactive rather than reactive, and become what you want to be in your life. Look at what happened and then understand it from an adult perspective. Give it a different light. Put that situation in a different light. Forgive others, forgive yourself, and love yourself. Love yourself. Be intentional. Be in this moment, not the one to come and not the one that passed, but in this moment. And in this moment, do one thing that moves you towards your goal. When you get that accomplished, be in that moment and do one more thing that helps you to reach your goal. And the next time you look up, you'll be there. Again, if you haven't done so, please subscribe, share, and comment. I really want to know what you think. Thank you so much for continuing to listen. If it's been a benefit to you, I appreciate you, and I'm asking you to like, to share, and to comment. If you haven't done so, join me on NoomVibe. Get your Diamond Journey Journal. Becoming is a process, and a process has stages. By me, Dr. Anita McLaughlin. Visit my website at DrAnitaMc.com. And whatever you do, come back next week.